Thank you so much for your patience during that brief transition as we got Symphony on stage. I very much appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, my name is Mr. Matthew Piper, and I'm the high school orchestra director. On stage right now is Symphony Orchestra. They meet every day together as one ensemble during 6th period, and we are assisted by Mrs. Carroll as well, so a huge thank you to Mrs. Carroll. Also a huge thank you because I'm sure many of you don't know this, but Mrs. Carroll is at literally every building where there are strings. She is here, she's at freshman school, she's at Wilson and Garfield, so she's been doing a lot of extra work, and I just want to make sure that I recognize her for that extra work, so I very much appreciate it. Can we give her a round of applause, please? So tonight we are going to be continuing, just like the freshmen were continuing their education in the Baroque musical period, we are going to continue our education in the contemporary music period, which is essentially from the early 1900s to now. It's quite a large time period because that's basically what we call all music made right now. So we are going to be doing the contemporary period. And then when the freshmen make it up to high school orchestra, we're going to be rotating again. They'll get classical, romantic, and then their senior year will be contemporary as well. So they'll get the natural transition, which is great. Our first piece up is a great example of a contemporary piece, Amadare by Larry Clark. During this piece, you will actually hear 3 sections of what is called chance music. If you were to look at the violin's music, at the beginning of the song, they have a bank of 4 notes, and it literally says, randomly play. So randomly play they will. The idea is that each time this piece is performed, whether we're in rehearsal or here at a concert, it is different, because at least one of those violins will do something different, so every time you play the piece, it is slightly different, and that's what we call chance music here. So it's a really cool concept, and in this case, what they're actually mimicking is raindrops, which is actually the translation. Amadare is the Japanese word for raindrops. So this piece and those random notes are to signify raindrops falling on a house, a car, the ground, a puddle, whatever your imagination wants to be. And then the piece gets super, super beautiful, very lush. It should remind you of a very gentle rain on a spring evening, spring afternoon, whatever your imagination takes you. So we really hope you enjoy this fantastic piece called Amadare. before we play our last piece, this is usually the time that I get the thank yous in, so a huge thank you to Mr. Ben Spalding, who is our Fine Arts Director, and Mrs. Jennifer Colwell, who's also our Fine Arts Secretary. Do a ton of things behind the scenes, make these concerts happen, organize all the people that are here, which is also leading me to thank you to McKenna and Neil in the back for lights and sound. Thank you so much. All the paraprofessionals, Mr. Zeri, the high school principal, and all the assistant principals here at the high school, and then of course Mr. Smallwood and all the assistant principals at the freshman school as well. Thank you all so much. And then finally, the staff, Mrs. Carroll, who I've already thanked and recognized, and then also Ms. Zableskis, who is here helping out as well. I very much appreciate those two. And then finally, you all for coming to this concert, for supporting your students' love of music, and it's really greatly appreciated. I can't thank you enough. Now, this last piece we're going to play is probably a favorite from the students up here. Avalon Rising is a drastic change from what we just played. This piece sounds like it is straight out of a movie score. You will find that this piece is very reminiscent of Hans Zimmer and his Dark Knight trilogy scores. We hope you enjoy this very dark and energetic piece by one of our favorite composers, Doug Spata. Many of you who've been attending these concerts all know that he is a Southwestern Ohio native, Sycamore grad, and CCM grad as well, so we really hope you enjoy it. And if you're thinking to yourself, wow, this group sounds really good this concert, it's not just because of me, it's because we had the lucky opportunity to bring in Maestro Daniel Wiley a couple weeks ago, and he is the assistant conductor of the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, and we were able to bring him in and do a workshop with the kids during school, which was really, really awesome, and he was fantastic. The kids loved him. We were a little bit nervous at first because it was someone from the Cincinnati Symphony, but he really engaged the students and really improved the music, and it was someone besides Mrs. Carroll and I talking to them, and then all of a sudden things clicked and it started sounding really great. So very much appreciate that and the help from the Cincinnati Symphony as well. So thank you all. This is our last piece, Avalon Rising.